plate of hot sesame cakes was served. The woman brought a steaming bowl of noodle soup and placed it on the table. Suddenly, a crazy man rushed in, grabbed the bowl, sat down, and started eating frantically. Everyone around called him mad. People began telling the woman, "Why are you feeding this crazy man?" But the woman stayed silent. She turned around, bought 2 more sesame cakes, and gave them to him. His clothes were torn, his hair was messy, but around his neck hung half of a jade pendant. He didn't look like a typical beggar. The woman simply said, "Eat slowly. I don't have enough money to buy more." But the man finished the cakes in just a few bites. Then suddenly, he stretched out his hand and asked for $50. The woman checked all over her body. She only had $47. Still, she gave him everything. A man nearby shouted, "Catch him. Don't let him fool you every day pretending to be crazy." The crowd followed him. The crazy man snatched the money and ran away. As he ran, half of his jade pendant fell to the ground. The woman quietly bent down, picked it up, and kept it in her pocket. The next morning, the woman opened her small shop. Suddenly, 2 gangsters arrived. "We're here to collect protection money. 200. She had just started her stall and hadn't earned much. One thug kicked over her basket. Vegetables scattered everywhere. She sat on the ground, picking them up silently, angry, worried, but too scared to fight back. Just then, the crazy man appeared. He picked up bricks from the ground and threw them at the thug's legs, screaming wildly. The gangsters got scared, cursed a few times, and left. Everyone was shocked. They said, "This madman is dangerous." Only the woman quietly continued cleaning. 3 days later, she closed her shop. While passing an abandoned warehouse, she heard cries and sounds of beating. She ran inside and saw several men brutally beating that same crazy man. "Force him to hand over whatever he's hiding." The woman stepped forward immediately. "Stop. I'll pay his debt." She gave them all the money she had, 3,000 yuan. The men took it and left. She helped him up and took him to a small clinic. The doctor said, "He's not a homeless man, he's been beaten badly." The man cried, "I'm not crazy." The woman didn't ask questions. She left 100 yuan for his food and went home. The next day, the man met her again. "I need to borrow your phone." People nearby warned her, "Be careful, don't give him your phone." But without hesitation, she unlocked it and handed it over. He made just one call and returned it. Days passed. The woman tied the jade piece with a red thread and kept it with her. Soon, she received news her mother was seriously ill. Surgery cost $80,000. She was shocked. All her savings were less than $10,000. No relatives or friends were willing to help. She even thought about selling her small shop. Then, she got a call. It was that man. She pretended to be fine. "I'm okay, don't worry." Half an hour later, a black car stopped outside. A well-dressed man stepped out. His personality was completely different. He handed her a card. "Take this 100,000. Save your mother first." She was stunned. "Where did you get so much money?" He just said, "Wait." Days later, when she went to the hospital, all the bills had already been paid. Even extra money was deposited. Soon after, people who had troubled her began apologizing. Her house, which was about to be taken away, was safe. Everything had been handled. She realized that man was not simple at all. A month later, he came again with a lawyer and assistant. Everyone was shocked by his powerful presence. He handed her a file. "This is for you." Inside was a property certificate in her name. She refused immediately. Then he revealed the truth. He came from a wealthy family business. His relatives drugged him, framed him, and forced him to act insane to steal his property. That day, he hadn't eaten for 5 days. He couldn't contact anyone because he had no phone or money. Then he took out the other half of the jade pendant. It perfectly matched hers. It turned out, their ancestors were connected. This pendant was a symbol of that bond. "This is fate, and my way of repaying kindness," he also told her. The people who troubled her were the same ones behind his suffering. Now, they had all been dealt with. He offered her a high position, vice general manager, salary, 2 million per year. But she refused. She just wanted to live a simple life with her small vegetable shop. Later, she received a donation certificate, 1 million donated in her name to help poor villagers. A message came from him: "If you don't accept my help, then pass it on. Help others sincerely. Because in difficult times, there are always people who help. Support others when they are in trouble. And fate will support you. When it gets dark, light a lamp. Kindness is never foolish. The warmth you give to the world will